Ladies and gentlemen, we are live here on SDU Networks yet again for another episode of Four Shoots and Giggles. Anybody that has not seen this one before, I've only done one other episode, but what it is just a little interview deal where I'm going to interview, ask you questions. We're just going to talk, bullshit back and forth. It's probably not going to be kid friendly because I got a mouth on me, and so does this guy I got here with me. Uh, so I am going to bring him on my. Uh, oh man, I just had a brain fart like crazy. Guy I'm interviewing today is none other than someone I have been around the entire time I have been a part of this business, and someone I have actually looked up to a lot. And yeah, I'm gonna make you blush before I even put you up on the screen here, buddy. Uh, but I want to welcome as he is called now, and I still have a hard time doing this. Big nasty Phil, what's up,
That's
dude?
me. That's me. Not much. What's going on? What's going on? I mean, if
Man, I
if you
still
got to, you could call me Otto Bane or Uncle Phil or asshole. Like some of the other people do. But whatever we got
right,
to do.
right. I mean, that right
Hashtag
there
nine
would.
fingers.
So like I said, anybody that hasn't watched this before, I've got some baseline questions I'm going to ask, but we're also going to flow through depending on how his answers go and depending on how your comments. If you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to ask in the comments. If we don't get to it right away, that means I probably already have that on my list to ask, or we'll add it in as we go through.
Hell, we
So
may be in the middle of a deep conversation or some shit, man. Come on.
yeah, definitely, definitely, and that happens all the time, especially with this
Yeah,
because I'm waiting for some of the random comments to start popping up because that's always the more interesting ones. But
I figure
let's
Gaston's going to say some outrageous stuff shortly.
oh dude, no, it's only if he only does that if Fred's in here or if Jack Parker starts
Oh,
commenting, then he
there
gets
you
on
go.
there and runs his mouth like crazy. So Rich Rockwell likes turtles for some reason. So,
All
I
right,
mean,
I do too. So turtly, turtle.
oh, so anyway, Phil Idol, however I'm gonna remember, I'll probably say both
Whatever.
names 1,000 times. Uh,
Come on
how,
with it.
how long you been wrestling, man?
Uh, I started taking bumps mid February of 1999. So a couple weeks ago was what I celebrated as my 25th anniversary since I started in this thing.
Wow.
That's yeah, I'm old.
This is
Uh,
this is my anniversary month as well. Actually, tomorrow. So, yeah,
tomorrow. Well,
yeah.
congratulations. What are you at 9 years?
9 years. Yeah, 9 years.
9 years. Hell yes. The
Yeah, I
joke
got a
worked.
lot. The bad thing is I'm like a third of your experience, but we're the same damn age. So
Yeah, couple weeks apart. It's crazy, but yeah, I mean, my pops, my stepdad at the time was a wrestler around here in the 70s and 80s and whatnot, and early 90s. And whenever he started dating my mom, we found out I like wrestling. He started taking me to shows, and man, I've been going ever since. And I was participating, ringing bells, and picking up ring jackets, playing music. Security occasionally, selling gimmicks at the gimmicks table. Ran concession. I've done everything in this business, really. I mean, I've even later I ran a few shows here and there, just to. I don't know. I've done a little bit of everything in this damn business. It's
well,
been
who
fun.
who
Oh,
who actually trained you?
the guy that actually trained me would be his name was Grizzly Gibson. He was a local guy around here. He was from Black Rock area. He ran several shows in the early 2000s and late 90s and such like that. He was sort of partnered up with Leonard Doan, so we did some training in that old wooden ring that sat in the back of a gas station in Walnut Ridge, Arkansas. Which people that are old enough to know that ring hurt and that ring sucked, and we sometimes bumping on the ground was better than bumping in that ring. But
I've I've
we
heard a
survived.
few of them like that.
Yeah.
Worse than the old handbone ring.
Man, the hand bone ring. I was just worried it was either going to fall apart or I was going to get tetanus.
Oh man.
especially in
I,
the last few years, right up before Leroy passed away. Yeah, I was scared to look at that ring. Last time
about
I was in it, it swayed as I stepped into the ring, not like
oh
running ropes. Like, okay, okay,
about 6 years ago, I worked in it. I took a TKO. One of the
yeah,
boards was twisted. I had a bruise from my shoulder down to my hip. Oh
uh,
man, that ring was rough.
yeah.
Um, well, all right. So one of the things I like to do with this is I want to talk about your first ever match. Do you actually remember it? I mean, I know
I
you're
do.
old, but
I do actually because it was a good and he's still my friend today. We actually unfortunately got when Reggie Montgomery's mother passed away a few years ago. We got to sit and chat and be around each other for the first time in 20 some odd years at that point, and it was good. His name was Eric. His name is Eric Wilford. He was as I think it was Wildfire Eric or something like that. Looking in smaller guy, 5'8", 5'9", 5'10", 180 pounds or so at the time. Probably 242 right now at the time because he's old too and fat like the rest of us. But you know, he was one of the guys that got it at that point around. And he made me feel comfortable. We went to the same high school and all that stuff. I was the same grade as his brother at the time, and so there was an instant comfort level there. And he walked through, and we put together the stuff, and we had a pretty good little match there for a guy that's never done anything in the business at that time, in the ring, and um, I think it went good. It was in Walnut Ridge, Arkansas, and it was a benefit for Grizzly Gibson's second daughter, who was born premature and pretty ill at the time. She's still with us though. Unfortunately, Grizzly passed away a couple years ago,
uh,
uh, yeah. So it's yeah, Walnut Ridge, Arkansas. Wildfire Eric and myself. I was not Idle Bane at the time or any form of feel. They had me
really?
as yeah. I got given a singlet for Grizzly gave me a singlet and a little vest, and uh, it had thunderbolts and stuff, and I was Johnny Thunder for about 3 months.
Oh
For
wow,
yeah, I want to get into old
wow.
shit there. So
well,
so yeah,
what what were what were the emotions though going into that? Like, I mean, I know there had to be nerves and all, but outside of that, what kind
yeah.
of how were you feeling about it though, in general?
Uh, I was excited. That's the only thing I can say. I've been a wrestling fan since I was like, since I was 5 years old. So like every time I could find wrestling, especially back in the old days when we only had 20 channels, and we were lucky to get WCW and WWF at
Yeah,
the time. And,
yeah.
uh, I don't know. I was super excited about it, and then the show date nerves kicked in, and I was like, oh crap.
Had the butterflies.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I probably almost puked before I left the house. And then when I got there, I probably pissed 30 times. And uh, honestly, that day I think I was smoking. I probably smoked a pack and a half of cigarettes that day, just chain smoking at the time. And,
Yeah,
uh, man, then once it got over, man, I was just shaking at how well it went. I was just, I was like that for probably 30 minutes and just ecstatic that it was there and I was getting to do what I'd want to do since I was a little boy.
right, right.
Be a pro wrestler, wear spandex, and dance out in front of other people or in front of people with other guys.
Play
Awesome.
dress up.
Yeah. Don't forget the
That's
baby
what
oil.
that's what I tell a lot of people at work when they ask me. I was like, man, on the weekends I play dress up, roll around with other men in spandex on purpose.
On
So,
purpose.
so talk about those the butterflies and all like that. For you, like I know I have my personal opinion on this. But I mean, for you, do those butterflies ever actually go away or
I think you learn how to hide them better. Some people, it's just sort of get used to the situation. Like if I'm a new, if see me personally, if I see a new person, and you're similar to me on this aspect, but if I see a new person, I may say hello to them, but I'm just gonna sort of say what I have to, and then I'm gonna scoot over here and find somewhere that I'm comfortable with. But
right?
then again, I can dress in spandex and go in front of 100 people, 600 people, 1,000 people, and it not bother me at all. And I love that feeling there. I love being in front of people, but I don't want to be talk to people or something. I don't know. It's weird,
It's a weird duality.
yeah,
Is the way I
it's
look at it.
so.
It's a weird duality how the two different personalities can be completely different from each other.
Hmm.
That's the
Yeah,
way I've always looked at it.
right.
'Cause
And
I'm a people person, but I'm not a hey, come be my friend for all time. I gotta know you
yeah,
for a little while.
right, exactly. So, but
Yeah,
your brother Bruce, this is more his gimmick, but blame a lot of it on what I perceive I have is ADHD, and a lot of the signs fit on there. So, um, I don't know. I think it's all
well,
part of that, but
you do need to talk with him on that too, because I know we were discussing he wanted to do an ADHD show with you. So
okay, yeah.
you need to make sure you get together with him on that. See, Bruce, I'm
Hey,
pushing you to do your stuff.
hey, Bruce, this is your reminder. We need to do the ADHD thing. Come on, line it up, buddy.
So you started off as Johnny, was it Johnny Thunder? You said
Johnny Thunder. Yeah, yeah, yes, sir.
was Idle Bane next?
Idlebane was next. Yeah, I mean, till recently when I came back, it was Johnny Thunder for those 3 months, and then and then it was Idlebane for the rest of the time. And we're not going to talk about the couple and just a couple different times that I just wrestled under a hood or something, or to
Yeah.
get away
Well,
with
I mean
it
that's
when
a
I
different scenario. But
do bizarro world
where
shows and whatnot.
where exactly did where'd you get the Idle Bane name? Where did that come from?
Man, me and one of my best friends in high school, we were thinking, and I didn't want, I was never a fan of like super poppy music or, anything that was super popular at the time. I tried to stay away from, and again, that probably goes back to the not wanting to be around people per se, but yeah, it was like, and he just came up with the old Greek names of Idol meaning hero and Bane meaning destroyer or destruction, whatever, and you sort of put them together, and then you can, when you're a heel, you're the destroyer of heroes, and when you're a babyface, you're the hero of destruction. So you can play it both ways and sort
Okay.
of do the thing. Even though, I mean, I was wearing a skirt for half this time, but as Idol Bane, I needed to be a heel unless the crowd knew me. It's
Uh,
it
that
was hard
was
to start me as a baby face.
well, that was going to be my next thing is the battle skirt.
Battle skirt, yes,
You wore that thing for as long as
yeah,
I could remember.
yeah,
What brought that about?
man, it was it's gonna be the same thing that like the color orange that I wore for so long. Um, I, People found it offensive. One particular night, I'm not gonna discuss too many details, but I stared at a light that flashed different colors for several hours, and orange really pissed me off. And about 3 months later, it was my color. And I was like, fucking people always fucking bitch about, we live in Podunk ass Arkansas here, so people always bitch about, oh, these guys wearing skirt or that's girls' clothing or whatever. And I
Yeah.
was like, man, ninjas wear fucking or samurais wear skirts, fucking whatever. It ain't nothing. So I I had Cody Only's mom help. We all came together and worked on an idea to make the first battle skirt. There was 4 generations of them and 5 total,
Really?
I guess.
I
Yeah,
remember
we
the long one with the orange stripes in the front, I believe. And
I
then you
had.
had like the weird kilt for a little while at the end there. So,
Oh, well, that was technically the 5th generation. I'm sorry. Yeah,
oh,
uh, that wasn't a custom one. That's literally just a kilt. I think it's sitting over there, um, but no, yeah. So the first one was just a skirt that they got at a flea market or some, you yard sale or something, and we threw some orange details around the outside, and Actually, I think it had a Hatchet Man on the front of it, and then my name across the back, like almost all of them did. And uh, the second one, the second one was the like the trip pants, the Hot Topic pants that you could get, and I
Yeah.
believe they were Dale Chitty's sister Cherica's, and she ripped them or something and handed them over. So we cut the legs up, sewed it all together, and then recut the slit. And I I had trip pants into a war skirt for a while,
Ain't
and
nothing
then we
wrong with that.
discovered pleather, and
Leather.
pleather became the look. Yeah, black
I think
skirt,
that
orange
I think that
trim.
was yeah, I think that was the one that I remember best.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
you may have saw two of them because I had yeah, two generations of pleather, and on the first generations of pleather, I did have a black and an orange kill or a skirt that were made at the same time. It's just I never wore the orange one too much. It didn't
uh,
wear right. But
gotcha.
Uncle Filthy, Oscar Wake, whatever you know him as, he wore it at a couple concerts, with his band Midget Come Mustache. So there's video footage of that out there, so that's pretty fun. So,
Oh
but
wow, I have to check that out.
yeah,
Oh, that crazy big son of a bitch. Oh, so one thing that I personally have paid attention to is there's two different groups that you ran with that I know of that were very influential in Arkansas wrestling. I mean, you can kind of give a weird look if you want to and all, but it's very true. Uh,
sure.
the first one we're going to talk about is probably the one that most people really dig is LSD, labeled
LSD.
social deviant.
Oh
How
my
did
goodness,
that come about?
man. So Dale and I basically trained at the same time, same area, same people. Of course, his dad's also a wrestler, and they're
Yeah.
close friends with Reggie. But it all went through Gibson as the start of it all, right? So me and Dale started tagging together forever, and then I got a girlfriend and sort of parted away from what he was doing, and he was in college, so he wasn't participating in wrestling as much as he would or could. And then several months later, he started going doing bigger stuff with running with Austin Lane and stuff like that, doing this gimmick called the Newbury. And and we started working shows together. But it was right around this time when Cody Only, or Cody Daniels at the time, started. And as soon as Cody started, you know, we all became me and Cody became fast friends. And then as soon as Dale and him met, they were instant besties for years, and then they started tagging, and we were all running together. I was doing other stuff. This is probably WFAC in Newport for Lyman, Chris Bryant, and that's where a lot of these people saw us. Like Jay Webb, the last time I saw him, he was talking about he used to live right down the road in Wynn, Arkansas, and he uh he just was telling stories about shit he remembered from us doing stupid shit uh back in Newport, and I think it's now a church or something. It's ridiculous. So, yeah, and then you know Newbury thing sort of died off, and then we went somewhere. Me and Dale started tagging again, and I don't know, maybe it was between
Yeah.
Batesville and Newport, and
I know he talked about Strictly Insane. Y'all did some stuff up there.
we did Strictly Insane. That'd be Goon Squad to throw off on that, and that would
Uh
be years later. This would be
oh, okay.
2003, 4, 5, something like that. I think we
Gotcha,
were down at
gotcha.
Strictly at 2012, 2011, 2013, somewhere in there. But we were at Batesville for the Hansons, and Gravedigger was booking at the time, and we learned a lot up there too. But yeah, and then we just sort of, I don't know, somehow it all got together, and we became a trio, and we became the Freebirds of the area for a lot of years. And um, we started working. Dale and I started working for Buster Johnson, and we brought Cody in. He was floundering as a baby, so we had the weight of turning, and Buster was wanting us to do uh, just something different than what we were doing. We were sort of doing the psychopaths deal with the face paint and all that good stuff, and just take edges of that and turn it into something else. And he brought up the letters LSD, and there was a bunch of things. There was a bunch of back and forth on it. And the first name he pitched to us, we were like, I don't really like it. And I sort of like the labeled social part. And then we worked back and forth and did all this between Buster, Dale, me, Cody, the family pain. Sarge O'Reilly was in there in that conversation on this. Uh, and, we came up with the labeled social deviants, and we started rolling, and we did as much as we could. You know, me and Cody tagging, Dale and Cody tagging, me a single, and whatever needed to happen, we could do. And whoever was not feeling good could stay home or do whatever they needed to do. And
I know.
we,
I know Josh had sent me a lot of videos
uh,
of y'all. Some stuff like some trios type. Just like LSD death
LSD
matches
death
or
matches.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all just out there murdering people.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I was before I actually got to start coming to shows and stuff with Josh and
Right.
whatnot. I was highly intimidated to meet any of y'all because of that.
Okay.
And then there was another incident that he showed me that we're not going to bring up. Uh, that you got banned from somewhere and wasn't even actually involved in it. We're not going to go there on that. So.
Yeah. I just got
Oh,
unbanned, for this benefit, so I'm gonna
right.
I'm gonna keep my good standings. Although I heard
Oh
I
man.
may have been in trouble for showing up to watch Matt Morgan's match. I don't know,
No, but oh
but it is
man,
what
but
it is. It was a
I
good match. I
know
enjoyed it.
I know when I first came along, it was at ASWF. I was working security, and that was my first interaction with you.
Okay.
Dale had just made a big comeback when he still had the long dreads and everything.
Okay.
And you showed up, oh yeah, yeah, and you pulled out these damn plastic forks out of your pocket and just
The
start
Wendy's forks.
drilling him with them.
Oh
And I was part of the guys that had to break y'all up, and I was like, I just don't want these guys to kill me.
oh God, that
Not
was
to,
was that night? Was I cussing a lot on the microphone?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay.
But it made for
Man,
me though personally, it made it real. It made it
mm,
real.
I you know we wanted to do, and we had the conversation before that night. It was like, we want this to look like we hate each other. I don't know what had happened before, but we had some little thing where we weren't friends or whatever. So
Yeah,
uh, we just went off, and it was as worked of a shoot as possible. And I don't know that I could have done it with too many other people besides Deadly Dale, because he was crazy enough to get on that level with me. And
yeah.
uh, it was a lot of fun, and he got me back. I blade worse on that fork. But those windy forks, man, they just explode, and they just hit a point. You'll get a little circle, and I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
I know from the outside looking in at that point, even though what I did know about wrestling, I was still a
mhm,
fan and all like that. But like y'all pulled me in on that. Y'all pulled me in big
appreciate
time. I'm not gonna go into after the show, getting to talk and
it.
everything. But because this is all shoot. But I try not
Oh
to pull
shoot,
the curtain back too far. You know what I
too
mean?
far. Yeah, yeah, I get you.
But
Yeah,
I
I mean it's
know.
it's pretty well open nowadays.
Right, right, right.
Unfortunately, I mean,
Um, but I know not too long later, when I actually got started over at MACW,
yeah,
and that is
Jonesboro down there,
where, huh?
down there in South Jonesboro.
Yeah, yeah, in Jonesboro. You were actually my second match ever. I
Yeah,
got
you
I
poor
got
bastard.
two elbows in is all I got to do the entire match. Uh, but
You
it.
took that boot good.
Hey, well, you think I'm missing a couple? No, but
Yeah.
not too long after that is when the next group I wanted to talk about came about.
Yeah.
MVC. You have a thing for three letter groups. So,
Well,
uh,
apparently so. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
but
I didn't come up. I didn't. I wasn't part of the name of that one. I was a late joiner to NBC, but
oh
it
really?
ended up. Yeah. It was, yeah. It started out being just uh, Vic and Ray, and I think Mike came along pretty quick after that, and they were doing that over in ASWF, and then I didn't really join until MACW, which would have been just a few months later, and then
Yeah. How did
ended
that
up.
all come about?
It was. I think we were hanging out with each other more than anybody else, and it was like I think I was already. I think I'd went and done some shows with Scotty and Adrian in Ripley, Tennessee. Just rode with them type stuff, and
Yeah.
so we already had a relationship. And then I was like, I was making a run towards the top title at MACW at the time, and
Hmm.
I was like, well, then why don't we make some heavies and let me join NBC? Now we got protection around the title. We can do a full horseman type deal, and then you know go from there. And uh, Ray broke his back at that time and was gone for all those months, and
I remember that.
we had already got rid of Mike from the group, so it just ended up being me and Scotty and Randy running and gunning and just being tag team menaces all over the Mid South. So it was.
I actually got to work a few of those. One of my
I'm sorry.
favorite. No, 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 no. One of my favorite memories when first starting out was there was we did that show that Sleazy put on the gym show.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
was the four of
Got your
y'all.
ass that night too.
Yeah, y'all did, y'all did. I was not aware that I was going to be in that match, but I got to tag with Dale for the first time and the Vikings, which I
Yeah,
still talk to Alex nowadays. Here recently more
Herzog.
often. So yeah, I love Herzog. That's a good dude right there.
I'm
Uh,
glad he's back around. I miss that. I miss that guy. I saw him
Dude,
in
he's so
Memphis the last
talented.
couple shows.
He's so
Yeah,
talented. So talented.
man, he
You
was.
know.
He's calmed down a lot and he's figuring it out so much more than like whenever we were around each other at Strictly Insane and stuff. When I first met him, he was a maniac, but you could see the just raw potential in him, and he
Yeah.
figured it out. That dude should be somewhere doing something, making a lot of fucking money.
And he's a
I
he's a
love
big
I
old
love
boy
fucking
too.
that dude.
Whew.
Hmm.
I'll
Yeah,
get
he
I
is.
get a kick, I get a kick out of not this last weekend, but weekend before last. I went to Vino's and just
Yeah,
watched.
yeah,
And he comes out with the thing drooped over, all hunched
yeah. Right.
over, looking like a little. And there's this little gal standing next to me. She goes, "Who's this old fart? Who's this old fragile old dude?" I mean, and then when he gets in and does the whole, "Roar," dude,
Yeah,
she turned pale white. She goes, "Oh my god!" I love it. I
that's
love it. I
awesome.
love it.
That's awesome. He
Uh,
hasn't figured it out. He's a tough brute too. There's been
oh yeah.
next time you talk to him, ask him about breaking his rib at Arizona and just sort of toughing it out on the whole ride home. Fucking, it was Bradley and Mikey told me that story. It was that poor bastard. He's a
Oh
tough son of a
wow.
bitch. I swear. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I ain't doing that. Shoot. I'd roll an ankle. I'm just like, yep, I'm done.
Yep. I'm old. I'm old. Tap out.
Ew.
Yes.
So, I made the comment about, and I don't know if I said it on here, but I've told you, you honestly, you're one of the guys that highly influenced me coming up. But
Well,
let's
I
go.
appreciate
Let's.
that.
Oh yeah, and it's no doubt. I mean, I learned a lot of my big man style from you. Watching you and stuff. So I feel like I'm a little bit of a hybrid of you and Dale Styles to an extent. So,
That's a
but
pretty good take on it. I like that.
but let's talk about your influences. Um, let's start off main first with more of like I guess what I don't know if you call the bigger leagues or whatever, but like say
Sure.
like WWE, WCW, some of the bigger legends and stuff like that. Who are the people that influenced you?
Oh goodness. Let's see. I grew up during Hulkamania, brother. You know, so the Hulksters. he's who got me into wrestling, and then the people like, I don't know, Ric Flair and the Horsemen, and just the way I love Flair because you knew he was going to go crazy on his promos, but I liked listening to Arn and and Ole really tell their promos, and they weren't screaming and yelling. We're going to tell you as a matter of fact what we're going to do, and this is exactly it, and this is why we're going to do it, and that really appealed to me. It was the no nonsense approach, and then they were technicians and tacticians in the ring. They wanted to break you in pieces. And a few years later, there came from Bret Hart, and I got into him huge, and then. I'm a Triple H fan too. I like the way he moves around the ring, especially younger Triple H. You know, he probably got a little more than he should have, but it's what happens when you marry the daughter or the boss's daughter. So, but he's uber talented and he deserved it too. But I don't know. I like the Andres. I like the Nashes. I'm a big man person. You know, if I can hit you with one elbow and it looks devastating, then why'd I have to do a 450? You know, it's I'm 6'5", I'm 285 or something. If I hit you and as safely as I can, you should feel it and you should recoil, and I shouldn't have to do a whole lot. You
Yeah.
should be able to sell why I go tell the crowd how great I am by look what I did with that one elbow. You know,
It fits perfect,
and I don't know. It's old school Big John Stud shit. It's simple, but it still works. It's still effective. Uh, you know, I, there's there's a lot of kids in this business that come in and want to try to do 450s, and Brad Mercury trying to do springboard for 450s damn near killed himself a few times. And it took about 4
yeah.
years to get him to say, "Calm down, fucking stop,"
I
and
remember. I remember during a four-way tag match, he did that on a Hypnotic, and
yeah,
nearly put his knee through Hypnotic's forehead on it, and like it was rough looking. It scared the shit out of me. So,
yeah. But I
but
mean, and this is not to drag Brad through the mud, but Brad's a really good worker now. He learned, and he got to go out and travel, and he's been a lot of places and done a lot of things, seen a lot of shit.
no,
He
I plan
he
on
has
bringing him
improved a
on here.
lot.
Yeah, I plan on
Oh yeah,
bringing him on here one day. I
you'd
definitely
enjoy
want
that
to.
too.
Uh,
But there's a bunch of kids. I didn't mean to get on Brad's
no, you're fine.
tangent, there's a lot of kids that come in and they want to try to do everything, and it's like we're here to entertain them. You slow down so they can register. If you want to do a cool move, we can do a cool move, but let's make it fit in some kind of fucking sequence that like makes sense and they can register and go, oh shit, if you just do
Make
four,
everything mean something.
there you go. Make a nickel out of every penny you throw out there. So,
Well,
but
and I personally believe that there is, a place for every bit of type of wrestling there is.
oh,
There's an audience
absolutely,
for it as well. Uh, so it definitely, you definitely need those guys and all, but you
yeah.
need the big slow guys too to draw them in personality wise as well. So
Well, and I'm not saying it's not necessarily just a big slow guy. I mean, like anybody needs to be able to. You can work a fast spot, but then you've got to give them the time to register it. It's the little nuances
oh yeah,
that's where you slow
I was
down.
just saying
Y'all
big slow
y'all can
guys a
do a
joke.
fucking big
So
thing, but yeah, oh yeah, because I am a big and slow guy. Because I used to bump a little bit, and that was dumb. But,
as
God, my back hurts still.
I look on the card, I see who I'm working. I'm like, oh, this guy. Oh. I'm bumping one time this match.
One time, my
All
favorite
right.
thing is a quote from Honky Tonk Man. You got one, baby. Make it count. That was just a bump card.
Oh Lord. So we talked about your the bigger names or whatever
Yeah,
influences on your career that you like, people you came up around, that people the people that
sure.
influenced your actual in-ring career. Who are
Yeah,
your
yeah.
biggest influences in that sense?
Uh, Number one, top one is somebody I learned from the most. Put this motherfucker over if I can find the camera. The guy I can put over the most for learning and basically stealing the way he does things, especially when we were green kids, is Deadly fucking Dale. I learned so much shit from him because he was athletic and he was innovative in the ring, and I was not as athletic, even though I'm bigger and whatever, you know. But he he figured so much shit out, and he was so quick on his feet on how to do little stuff, and I
Natural.
just natural.
Yeah.
Like I still do stuff and consciously think, oh, I stole that from Deadly Dale. You know, just it, the way I sell a if somebody gives me the old kick in the back, the way I sell it is exactly how Deadly Dale sells it because it started as mocking him and I was like, no, this is right, you know, and it's just the way he moves his hands and flinches up is smart.
Huh.
So
I have to go back and
little
look at that.
say the little shit I fucking me, Cody, and Dale, when we were running together for the first 10 years, anyways, we would have however many shows in a weekend, and we'd all most of the times camp out at Cody's house for the whole weekend, and we would go do our show. We would come home. We would watch the video because Cody had a camera or camcorder that he brought to every show for 10 years, and uh,
Good.
you know, we would watch it and then rewind it and then watch it in slow motion and then watch it again and then watch Lucha Libre because it was on Univision or Galavision rather. And then after that, we would go back and watch the highlights of our matches that we liked, and then maybe the one of them that we hated. And I mean, that was our whole weekend. You know, we go to the next show Saturday, we do it again. We'd hang around and just watch the whole thing again and more lucha um, all Sunday, and then go home and get ready for work and go do it. You know, do it again the next weekend. That's that was our life for a lot of years. Yeah,
Till kids came along and all that.
yeah. Till the lady
Uh,
friends and the childrens came along. Yes, sir.
right, right.
Yeah, I miss hanging out with my
So
boys, but
yeah. Oh,
I like having my
I get
kid.
it. I get it. Yeah. I mean, outside of Dale though, who would you say?
Let's see. The guys I learned from much, you got to put over his Poppy too. Just I probably stole a bunch of shit from him just to see. You got to test people, see if they want to do it. You know, in the ring.
Yeah.
Uh, this business is not easy, and letting anybody in do it. That's for me. You know, like you said, you got two elbows for me. That's a Jim Chitty straight right there.
Yeah.
And the next
Two.
time, once I
I
figured
got
out you could work,
I got
I
two
let you have
elbows.
more.
I got two elbows, a bloody nose, and a busted mouth. So yeah, that's what I got in that match.
Yeah.
The bloody nose was my own fault because you hit me with a European, and I kind of sold up like this. And when you hit the second one, I punched myself in the face. So
Uh,
I still remember that like it's yesterday though, because I got in the back, I pulled my mask off, I just smiled that bloody smile, like, you got anything else for me, boss? And you're like, no, go away.
go clean, go clean yourself up. Gosh, but
uh,
man, I really had some good matches and learned a lot of stuff from Scott Fury. I had some good matches with him. We clicked real well in the ring. John Michael Worthington, that dude is so good he don't even know it.
yeah, yeah, I met him up at Golden Boy show. Man,
Yeah,
that dude is so
Dyersburg.
smart. Yeah,
He's
so
so good at
smart.
what he does, and yeah, he's so smart too. But man, he was double booked the first time we worked each other in a real singles match, and so he walked in like a minute before my music played, and all we knew was the finish. I mean, like literally, we just did that, and then we just walked and talked the rest of it. And we had a 12, 15 minute match, and it was like we'd cut or been opponents for years, and we never
It,
did. And
there's some people like that you just have natural chemistry with, you know.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But man, one of the guys that really got me, I mean, Jim, I said him, but that got me more polished. Got to put Buster in there. He did a lot of that too. But Tim Hansen, uh, man, that dude, he was so good. Him and his little white boy shuffle, he could get over. Gravedigger too. Those two guys when we worked in I mean, honestly, there wouldn't have been a psychopath slash LSD if those two guys hadn't directed us in the right direction on a lot of things,
Really?
dude. Those guys are really good. Um,
Yeah, I've met
uh,
Gravedigger a couple times. I don't know if I've
yeah,
met the other fella.
you may have seen him at an ASWF show. He came around a few times, but it may have honestly been before you. But I don't know. Timmy and Digger were good people, and I learned a lot from them. I miss them too, but I don't know. I can't really think of anybody else. I mean, there's a lot of people I owe a lot of things for. I could spend all night putting people over because it's what I do now. That's
But
my whole goal in wrestling at the moment.
you gotta get up early, so we can't spend
Oh
all
yeah,
night on that. So
well that's true. Tells of a working man, golly.
and I do
But
appreciate you, starting late with me here.
oh,
I
it's all
can't
good,
get
dude.
to do this until about 8:15, so I do appreciate you. But all
Not a
right, so
problem.
let's I know you 25 years, you've had a
Yeah.
buttload of matches and all like that. Do you have that one match that stands out to you as your favorite match that you've done?
Man,
Oh, that's a
uh,
thinker there.
that is a thinker. You know the I'll tell you the one that I felt that I was in the best position. I had the best. I guess this is going to be one of the ones that is really one up there, and it's for MACW. It was right around that same time you were starting and stuff. But it was me and Dale at Fourth and Forest, and they had a couple names.
I was there on that one.
Were you there?
Yeah.
We got main event because I was the champ. It was his rematch or whatever, and we uh we followed a couple names, and I'm not even sure who it was honestly at this moment. It may have been Brandon Baxter and somebody, but and I thought the hometown boys, Brandon Baxter should run for mayor in Jonesboro. He's that over here, but no, we got the crowd and we got the bigger pop because I sat and listened to it, made sure it was going to happen, and that one really made me happy. I don't know. Oh, I need to put over Golden Boy too as an influence because that dude's also very very fucking smart, and I learned a lot from him. Um, very very smart. Working with him in LAW and on until his new shit. But yeah, God, I'm gonna keep bringing up fucking people and putting them over.
Dude. I mean, like I know I ain't been wrestling as long as you, but I am older and whatnot. So I know
Yeah,
I don't have a lot of years in me and all like that. But I mean, that's the goal, isn't it? Though, is
yeah,
to help, to build others up. I mean, that
that,
personally,
that's
that's
it.
mine. Uh, so would you say though that Dale has been one of your favorite opponents, or do you have somebody that no matter what it was that you clicked with, that you knew you were going to have a good match? Who would you put in that place? If not Dale, who would you put?
I think Dell is one of those for sure. Man, again, John Michael was going. Golden Boy, I had amazing matches with him. Scott Fury was one. He
He had
sort of shunned
retired
around.
by the time I came along. I never got to work with him.
Yeah. Uh, Another one is his name is sort of shunned around here, but we clicked as soon as we touched. But it was God, what's his name? I can't even think of it. Seth Knight or whatever. Dynamite Seth Knight. Yeah,
I
he
don't know
had
if
a.
I know him.
It's probably for the best, but he was a really good worker. That's I'll give him that.
Yeah.
But we were solid in the ring. It was really good stuff. But and who else did I have? Me and Cody always tried to kill each other because that's just what we did. One of us would stiff the other and go, "What the fuck?" And the other one would retaliate, and then we raw, and it was going hug it out
Uh,
later. But
that's kind of how me and Ray and me and Josh always were. It's
yeah,
like who's
man,
going to Who's going to stiff you first?
Yeah. Well, Josh and me, it was always those two good names. Also, need to add it to the people I can have good matches with too, because me and Ray have had some wars. Uh, I helped. I actually helped coin the hardcore homo name for him. He can tell that story at some point.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know
big.
that. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I made a sign with it on there because I was wrestling him for a hardcore match later, and this is before he was officially out. Just, just
Oh,
something to
really?
say. And
I didn't know that.
uh,
Hmm.
yeah. Then he took. I'm glad he took it and ran with it because it's what his character is, who Ray Ivy is. You know, it fit him
Yeah.
really well at that time. So
Yeah,
I'm glad he
definitely.
did it and ran with it. So, but those two guys are great. Josh is great too. Me and Josh always had a race to see who could stiff each other first, and, and the hardest. It was like he'd throw a work punch or I'd throw a work punch, and I'd be like, "What the fuck?" And then he fucking stiff me, and I'd be like, "Ah, there it is. Now we can go to work." You know,
Yeah,
it
you
was,
you 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 knew you never knew that when Josh you knew Josh wasn't really warmed up yet until you caught that first stiff shot. Like, oh, there he is. All right, come here, you son of a bitch.
there we go. Get him
As
back, and he's happy too, and we go to work. So it was always a good night with Josh too. He always wanted to eat my boot too. I was like, "You sick fucker, I'll
dude,
throw it."
I know.
He,
'Cause, that's what everybody's like. Oh, you protect yourself, but the hell no, Josh is like, here it is.
yeah. Oh, he did. And you couldn't like throw a light boot at Josh's head because he was headbutting your boot. You know, it was
Oh yeah.
ridiculous.
That's how I
Tried
learned how to gauge stuff was by if it's Josh or anybody else. Uh,
it. Yep, exactly. I'm just
oh
throwing it up
Lord.
anymore. God.
Right?
Uh,
I'm just throwing it. He's gonna run into it.
and run into
Oh
it hard
Lord.
for sure.
Right, right. So and this show doesn't always have to go real super long. I mean, I've got a few more
Oh, it's okay.
questions, but I'm definitely
Come
enjoying
on.
this. Um,
Yeah.
if right now, if you could set up your last match, if it was all on your terms, who would it be with? Like,
Oh
yeah,
God.
feasible. Like, yeah, who would
Feasible.
you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man. I mean, we could end it right where we started it with Dale, but that would be an easy one. But I would love to have the Codys and maybe Vic or Scotty involved in that one. And I want to have some of the people that were close in my life fucking involved in that last match. I would think, if we want to do a retirement match. But
yeah.
whenever I decide to hang it up here before, I don't know, the next couple years, but uh, I'm on borrowed time at the moment, right? But I'm an old man. I just want to, I just want to have a storyline and get beaten, somebody get over, and I go away. It's I want to go out on my back and try to make that person look as good as I can at that point. So that's the that's the mo in the return. I think I've won 3 matches in 2 years I've been back wrestling. I'm very
Wow.
happy in my role. I love it all, but it's a lot of fun. Uh, I don't know. I, I take on, especially at Memphis. I just I figure out they tell me what match I'm doing, and I just try to figure out how to make the people that are getting the push at that moment here get that go on. I will do what I can to help you get there, and I still look okay at the end of it. And, I don't care. It doesn't matter to lose at this point. I'm not trying to be I'm not trying to be number one in the state because William Blackwell's got that shit wrapped up. You know, fucking
And he doesn't believe it. He doesn't
that
believe it. But like
he's on a different level.
when I did that top five thing
Yeah,
last year, like
he touched you so much.
but it was the voting wasn't even close. Like
No,
KT was a solid second, but
yeah,
they were like light years away from each other, and then KT was light years away from number three. I mean, it was just they're so far ahead. It's
and
amazing.
Central and Northeast Arkansas, those two guys are it. And that's nothing against Skinner or Alex
Anybody,
Gold or anybody else, Mike. I mean, all those guys. I mean, those two guys right there,
They're complete
they're
packages.
right.
They
They're
really
stars,
are.
honestly. And there's
And
some
if
other
he
guys that are
watches
coming
this, he's
around.
gonna cuss us. Uh,
That's fine. He can cuss me all he wants. He'll be thinking about me maybe whenever there's bookings at Vino's, right? No, I'm just
hint, 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 hint,
kidding.
hint.
I regardless if I get a booking down there, I really need to come see a show because that's really a hot spot
Dude,
in
it's a
Arkansas
great
wrestling right
environment.
now.
Dude, it's so
Like,
like I went, like I said, I went to this last one just as a fan, just to
yeah,
watch. Dude, the energy is just it reminds you of like old school ECW, Pro
right,
Wrestling Gorilla, like those types
yeah.
of shows. Like
Bet it
it,
reminds you of the
it,
damn punk rock show. That's what
but
Vino's is.
yeah,
Fucking local punk and metal bands. It's just that's.
essentially,
I mean, and they're doing the Attitude Era gimmick with the whole promotion, and I think that helps promote the whole punk rock, thing too.
yeah,
And I think Will's got a black flag tattoo. He's punk rock as
he
fuck.
does,
So,
he does, he does.
so
I remember when he got that, so
well,
because I had to
I think
ask him what is that.
yeah, he
uh,
had that vest when he first started wrestling, and or maybe it was a tattoo too. But I worked him in Dyersburg or whatever for
yeah,
Golden Boy. And
yeah.
I saw
Yeah,
it.
because
And I was like,
he was
"You're a
traveling
punk
with
fan?"
me at that point.
Right. So. And yeah, we made contact about it. It was never the hugest black flag, or sorry, black flag. Oh wow, that's a weird. Sorry, Will. That was inappropriate. Uh,
Oh, I'm gonna tell him you said
that's
that.
God damn. Please don't. That's unintentional as hell.
No,
But
you might get booked at Vito's now against
well, that's
him.
true. Yeah. I'll take that ass whipping, whatever.
Oh,
But no, as soon as I saw they had the thing, I'm a punk, punk person too. So I was like, hell yeah, I like punk music, even if it's not Black Flag. So,
yeah.
but I don't know, instant connection. I wish we would have had better matches at the beginning.
Well, he was only like a year in at that point, though.
Yeah, if that, I think it was two or
Yeah,
3 months at that point.
yeah,
So,
because that's when I started traveling. Yeah, he was still wearing the Tiger singlet. Uh,
mm-hmm,
and he was I was hitting Tennessee spots and a couple times down Mississippi, and he was
yeah,
traveling with me. Like first couple, like I love the way he did it though, because he wasn't even booked half the time, but then he ended up getting
right,
spots on the shows. I'm like, that's how you do it.
yeah.
So I feel confident in my
There
helping
you
him
go,
grow in the beginning. Yeah.
man. And I know this show's supposed to be about me, but let's go ahead and put you over here a little bit too, because you are a big part and a father figure to a lot of these kids. Like, maybe not KT as much, but to Will and Gaston to a point. And a lot of these kids around here, you have they hold you in high reverence, sir. And you deserve every bit of it. So don't think you're not doing some shit out there
Well,
to help grow this wrestling business in Arkansas.
I just try to do my best, man. And get me and Gaston came up
There you go.
together pretty much.
Yeah,
I started
you're
training a little bit before he did, but
right.
he was such a good referee. Nobody
Hmm.
wanted to put him in the ring, so he ended up being a referee a lot longer than he should have been.
God, he's perfect at the little heel character he's doing with the Lord Gaston.
Oh yeah,
It's
I absolutely love
ridiculous
it.
as hell, and somebody needs to be doing stuff like that on television. And then
Yeah,
he's with Matt, and Matt's Matt's a damn genius. I swear he I love
yeah,
watching Matt work anymore. It's amazing. Never the
he's
best
another.
bumper, but he's got it right there.
Yeah, he's one,
I'm not.
just, like, conversation-wise, that's somebody I've always went to, like, to talk about this kinda stuff in general, because, yeah, he's just so damn smart about everything.
He is. He does
Alright,
look like he is.
so, let's move this away from me, back to you. Uh, um, Now we talked about, like, favorite matches, favorite opponents, and all that good stuff and all, but, I mean, do you have that certain it doesn't have to be a match, but do you have that
Sure.
certain moment in wrestling that you would consider as that defining moment for you? That like, I'm here, man. I'm meant to do this. Do you have that certain spark moment for you? For you?
Man, I mean, honestly, and I'm sorry, ADHD, and I drifted off, but that match with Dale at Fourth and Forest, man, getting the reaction we did, and being the not the names, whatever, but we that was like that was right at my prime of doing all this, and it it really was like, hey, I can do this. Why am I not doing this better level? And then I got to fight myself over that one, but um,
We're our own worst enemies. So trust me, I get
every
it.
day, unfortunately. So, but you know that that was I was probably as high of confidence level at that point as I'd ever been in the wrestling business. And I mean, hell, I was 14, 15 years in at that time, whatever it was. I don't know. It was I knew I could get booked anywhere I wanted to go if I tried hard enough. But uh, I don't know, just being there and having to be able to have that moment and as close to my hometown as possible
Yeah.
was a good one, and it really being able to get that reaction really told me I was hey, I'm here. I'm be at this level that I think I'm at. And I never thought I was the best worker on the show, and I just tried to do the best I could every night. And some nights I was the best worker, but somebody needed to be. But I worked some really terrible shows at times too. So
We all have. That's part of the learning experience, though.
yeah, that's very true.
And I've always felt the same way too. I knew I wasn't like the worst guy, but I never
Yeah.
considered myself like the main event guy or nothing like that. But I
Oh,
always felt like being on the show helped the show in some
yeah.
form or fashion. And so
There you
that's
go.
kind of what I'm getting out of what you're saying on that. Is
Yeah.
no matter where you were at, you finally got to that point to where you felt like because you're there, the show's better.
Yeah.
Is that
That's it.
is
That's it. And I mean, I'd had some big runs with, I was LAW champion for a while, and it was still like, why am I holding this belt when I've got, these two body guys? I had John Michaels on this side. I had Christian Jacobs. They're just amazing, both workers and just bodies. And, there's all these other guys that were coming through there that were much more established than I was. And I was like, why am I
yeah.
here? You know? They, I think it was Casey Gold, who runs out of Jackson now. He did a couple tournaments called the Memphis 10, and at that point, I was fortunate enough to get invited to the second one. Uh, and I was like, "Y'all invited me? Why? I'm just this guy out of Arkansas that's just having fun with this and all that. Y'all want me to be over here?" And I don't know. We can put one more on this. People I learned from be Derek By God King, dude. He pisses me off a lot, but and it's just Derek. But goddamn, he's fucking smart, and he's taught me a lot of shit. And I'm glad I've got to eat a super kick from that motherfucker about 400 times. Hope I
Wait
get at
one.
least a couple more. Yeah. Oh, I
I
used to just run
won.
into it.
I got it was MACW. He was supposed to work with Key, and Key
Yeah.
couldn't be there that night, so they put me in there. It was literally a minute and a half long spot of me just
Oh,
rolling him up, doing this, rolling him up, and then he threw one super kick. And but at the beginning, I got to cut my first ever live promo.
oh yeah.
I used his catchphrases against him. I was so proud. But
Hell yeah.
after he won, I'm leaning on the ropes doing my whole maniacal shit. He's sitting on the entrance ramp. Looks like he's terrified. Like crowd just eating it up. I was like, hell yeah. Get in the back. He's like, man, if I knew you'd be here every week, I'd do something with you. I'm like, dude, I've been here 6 months. I'm the only masked guy here. How do you son of a bitch? We've gotten along good ever since then, though. I
Hell
was
yeah.
like, what the hell are you talking But yeah, that was pretty good. I enjoyed that one little deal with him. Hopefully soon I might get to do some more with him and a few other people. I can't speak on reasoning why, but that's another thing that you know what I'm talking about. But
I know
that's
what you're
another
talking about.
for me. Uh,
Kayfabe
as
that
a
door, baby. Kayfabe
reason,
that door.
do what?
I said, kayfabe that door, baby. Kayfabe that door.
But I mean, we talk about like like validation or defining moments. So for me, that is one of them because being put in a position that you never feel like you deserve. Like a
Yeah.
couple years ago, I got the main event, the wine mixer with Gangrel. You know,
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, that
That's
was definitely
that's a good match too. Y'all tore the house
see,
down.
I don't see it. Like
It's
like a
good
lot of
too.
people say it. But that goes along with I feel like you kind of have the same thing. It's an inferiority complex.
Yeah.
Um, so from what I was getting, what you were talking about, that's why I brought that up though. Is a lot of the guys like us, that it's a inferiority complex. It's this thing I read up on imposter syndrome, where no matter what you do, you don't feel like you deserve what you've earned. And I
Yeah.
will personally say, in my 9 years, almost 10 years of knowing you, you earned everything you gotten, and you deserved everything you've earned. So, you
Oh
know.
gosh.
I had to
Jeez.
be sappy. Uh,
You dirty so and so. I'll break out my
so
original catchphrase for you, but I mean,
I know what it is, but
yeah, I know you know
um,
what it is. There's a
um,
hashtag in front of it.
I've got two more questions to ask, but before I do
Sure.
that, I want to put over where are you going to be at coming up soon? Let's put over some of the shows coming up.
Well, we really have to put this over, or else Jamie may kill me. But this this Saturday night, Wynn, Arkansas for 100 Wrestling. You're going to be there with your fellow modern day monsters.
Yep.
Derek King is going to be there. I think it's a 7 o'clock bell time. It's the first time since probably close to 8 to 10 years that there's been a show in the Wynn. That should be a good one. Jamie knows everybody in that town. That's been his area for a long time, and it's going to be a good show. I've
I seen
worked several down there for him, and
I seen Jay
they're
Webb's
always
gonna be
good
on
time.
there too. I love
Jay
Jay.
Webb's going to be
I
on there.
love
Yeah.
Jay.
Well, Jay grew up and lived a lot of time in Wynn, Arkansas, so it's almost a homecoming for him here. So
That's awesome.
he so I'm glad he's going to be there. A lot of other good guys are going to be there. I think Action Jackson's going to be there. Derek, the LA Hustlers are probably going to be there.
I think that Hustlers had to back out. I
Okay,
believe.
well, I
I
thought I
believe.
saw something, but I mean, it's a lot of big talent from around the area. A lot of guys from Memphis wrestling. Of course,
Definitely gonna.
we're
It's definitely gonna show a mix of definitely like the old school. Well, I
yeah,
would say mid 2000s
yeah,
Arkansas
and
wrestling with a little bit of the newer stuff as well.
right,
Is from what I'm getting out of it.
and I think Wynn's going to eat it all up because I think Jamie's put together a good set of crew here, and I hope it does well for him so we
Yeah.
can do it again. And I think he's talking about doing every couple months or maybe a monthly show and doing it around the area. And we need more. There's nothing in that area really. I think
Uh,
APW does something sort of close, but not
they're
really.
they're based in Mariana,
Yeah,
and
but I
they
think
hit
they do a Cherry Valley,
Cherry
which is
Valley.
just down the road from Wynn. But I
Yeah,
think
and then
they've only done it a couple times. I mean, I don't
and
know,
then
but
Palestine. I think they did a couple of shows there, but yeah, they're in that general area. But
yeah, yeah, they're a little more east of where Wynn and stuff is, but and south maybe just a tad. But
yeah,
I don't think they're going to infringe on each other too much with where they normally run. I hear
uh,
APW's got a good product, but too. But then the next week, March 9th, Saturday, we're going to be at ASWF and MACW right there in Tuckerman, Arkansas, at the main event Bradley Metroplex, uh,
I'll never
formerly the
call
world,
it that.
uh, formerly the world famous Valiant Arena, main event Metroplex. Um, we got that shit locked up, contracts and stuff. Uh, the next day we're doing two shows in one weekend for the old man here. We're gonna do a Memphis wrestling taping. Uh, those are
That's the
those
one that's
are
gonna
always
have
a lot of fun and a big long thing. Who
Lance
is
Archer there, ain't it? On
is
this
it?
one,
Yeah, it's Archer. And when
that's a
Murder
big
Hawk's in the
deal.
building, straight up, everybody dies. So uh, I fell victim to it a time or two myself. So uh,
Really?
yeah, we had a spot there. Me, Brad, and him. I think it was in Battle Royal or something, or I don't know. There was something, and I ate a boot from Archer, and then Brad took a move, and no, Brad took his finisher on me. That's what happened. Actually, it may have been.
Oh,
So it was
Ow!
fun.
I know Brad
Not
ain't a
too bad,
big dude, but damn,
thankfully.
that's a
But
bony ass coming down straight on you.
but I, it is what it is. It looked good on TV, and me and Brad called the spot. It's like, hey, will you do this, please?
Please, sir.
Please, sir, abuse us. Look good on TV. Oh goodness, I feel like a Mulkey brother, But no, but I don't know. It's I gotta say that thing you were talking about, matches that make you feel uh like you belong or whatever. Whenever I just got to be part of Memphis wrestling, that was sort of growing up. I had a few different things I wanted to do in wrestling, and WWE was always like, yeah, whatever, maybe. But I wanted to work for an NWA promotion, and I got to work for two or three of them. Um, and then I wanted to work on Memphis wrestling TV, and because I'm an hour away from Memphis, man. That's what I grew up on. If it was local, so Waller and the Jarretts and Dundee and all that stuff, and
Yeah.
uh, so I was like, man, if I could get on Memphis wrestling, I'll be happy with where I am. And I walked in, and I was nervous as shit for several months. Man, I started doing stuff, and I got going, and I love it up there. It's such a confidence boost for me now to walk in there and be like, all right, what are we doing today? And figuring it out and making it work, and you know, trying to think about camera angles, which is a weird thing because I've never had to look at a camera. I was always trying to look away from them unless there was I had to. But I don't know. It's always fun, and it's always a
Well,
challenge, and
the
we enjoy
camera
it a lot.
thing, you come up on in indie wrestling, you're told to work the crowd, and then
Right.
you do that type of environment, and
And
you got to
literally, the
work.
crowd's got to be behind you.
Yeah.
So what the
So
hell? You
yeah.
got to look at this hard camera at the desk, so you're looking at like Dustin and whoever's over there, Maria or whoever, and then the whole crowd, 150 people, is behind you making noise. But it looks good on TV, I guess. So I'll do what the boss says.
All right. So this was one of my favorite parts when I was talking to
Uh-oh.
Dale. You got to tell me your favorite road story.
Oh shit.
like example, mine. After a show, stopping at IHOP and keeping Ray from killing a crackhead, uh, because he kept saying he walks by us. And he's got a backpack and stuff like that. And hey, what's up? Hey, what's up, Bill? Yeah, he just gets about 20 feet away from us, turns around, he goes, "Fuck you! What do you say? Put some salt on it. Put some salt on it." And I'm just like, "There's salt in IHOP." And Ray thought he was cussing my wife, which
Oh
he
yeah.
wasn't or nothing, but it's Ray. He goes
Yeah.
running. I just grab him and hold him on my shoulder for Ray. You don't know what he's got. You don't know what he's got. He's over like, my bag is leaking. Plug it. I mean, I'm just being a smart ass and all, but like that, hands down, that's one of my favorite, like moment,
Oh, it's awesome.
outside of, on the road wrestling, but not actually with wrestling.
Oh God. Let's see. Best road trip. Uh, I'm gonna say one of the ones that gets brought up the most, and and I was there, and Brad was there too, but Mikey tells a good version of it from Brad's rendition. So we had just went through where were we wrestling at up there? It was for Devin and Mason Cutter, the Hooligans, they had their outlaw wrestling show up there in somewhere just east of St. Louis. I can't remember what it was. In Illinois though, and we were coming up there. Me and Dale were doing the Goon Squad deal. That was me and him tagging in just a slightly different version of LSD without having to be called LSD up there, you know. So we were drinking a little bit. It was a good day. We were pacing ourselves throughout the whole show, but I wasn't. Neither one of us were driving. Dale didn't drive, but so Dale proceeded to kill his 30 pack, and we were at a Steak and Shake in Mount Vernon, Illinois, or something. And he said something flirty to the waitress, and she cut him off real quick, and he got booby faced a little bit, unfortunately. And he went outside. I don't mean to embarrass him on this. Just this next part's really good though. But he went outside, and the rest of us all finished our food and blah blah blah, and did our thing. And we came back out to the car, and Dale he was upset, but he was making a scene. He was just trying to be silly. So he had just finished off his 30 pack, and he had the case in the back of the guy's truck that we were with, and he just took it, chucked it across the parking lot as we were coming out. You know, woo, and all this. And I was just like, oh, okay, whatever. And I just grabbed the thing, and I just threw it in the fucking back in the back of the truck. Dale comes out, looks me dead in the face as serious as possible. Fitz, when do you give a fuck about the environment? And fucking grabbed it and fucking threw it back out in the parking lot again. And
dude, you do a perfect Dale impression. I ain't gonna lie.
oh god, watch the years of it for sure. Fucking but he I don't know. It got calmed down. We got split up. There was two different cars there. Eli was on that trip too. Uh, Eli and one of his buddies, David, Big James, and then me and the Mercury boys. And yeah, he wrestled for a minute too. I forgot about that. But he I don't know. Dale was riding with us to a certain point, and we were gonna go. We were going different directions. I think Big James and Dale both lived around Tuckerman at that time, and I lived in just a different direction, Hoxie area or something. And so I was needing to ride with the boys at some point. So at that point, we're 6 hours away though. We it's like, Dale, you go with them, or I'm gonna go with them, and we'll just do this split right now and make it easy. But and we talked it over the next day, and it was all good. It was just what happens when Dale drinks way too much too quickly. He's figured it out now, and I don't even think he really drinks anymore. So, I mean, luckily we all grow up occasionally. So, so
right.
sometimes, but and I don't know. Me and Cody had a bunch of good trips. Uh, I, I've traveled. I travel all the time. I did a construction job for like 7 years where it was getting a van and drive to some part of the random part of Arkansas and stay there for a week and then do it over again the next week for a few months and go somewhere else. And I guess I spent a lot of time in your area, Russellville and Ozark, Clarksville, and I'm sorry, Oark, not Ozark, and all sorts of little towns over there in Northwest Arkansas. But I don't know, traveling full, we have all sorts of stories. Some of those get wilder, but I got one more actually. This was this is those damn Skimmerhorn boys. Brad will mark out over this a little bit, but me and Briar were drinking because Brad was driving to the show. We were going to Dyersburg or something, and no, Brad was drinking on the way home. That's what it was, so we could drink. Or Brad was driving, we were drinking, and me and Briar were getting rowdy in the car, and fucking Brad was getting pissed at us. After he snapped a little bit at one of us, I was in the back seat. I grabbed both handles in the seat and I stood up, put my head right up here. I said, "Don't make me stand up in this car." And we all fucking lost it. Fucking and now I don't know. That was 8, 9 years ago. I mean, we still threaten to stand up in the car every time. So we see each other. It's pretty good times. So,
Good memories, man. Good memories.
yeah,
You know.
that's what this is all about. I've met a lot of really good people in this business and had a lot of
Yeah.
really good times. And, even if I didn't wrestle a person, maybe like hanging out and just bullshitting with somebody for 2 hours over common threads, that we have going on in our life for any day to day was well worth it. It's
Yeah.
wrestling was therapy for me for I don't know about 25 years right now. So fucking uh, I don't know. It really makes me happy, and I'm glad I can still be a part of it. So
That's good, man. That's good. I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that. You do hear. You get a lot of the guys that's been around it for a while that they get jaded about it. They get really super jaded about it. They don't really want to do anything but very specific stuff and whatnot. So it's good
yeah,
when you hear somebody that even though 25 years in and you
right.
still seem to have the love for it you did when you first started. And
I
I
do
like
probably
hearing
probably even more honestly. Fucking I love this shit. I did get jaded right before I lost the finger, and I was taking a break anyways. But and unfortunately, that was right around the time I worked wheel for those first couple times up in Tennessee. I was probably 2 or 3 months from hanging them up at that point. But
that.
I was beat up, I was hurt, I was lingering back and neck issues, and uh, I was like, I'm gonna take the summer off. I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna recoup, see where I go from there. The goal was to always go till I'm 40, and
Yeah,
at
yeah,
37, I took a break and expected to be 3 months. Ended up being 4 years. Lost a finger, got a good job at that time. So I was preoccupied with other things, and
yeah.
then COVID came along, and it I was just like, well,
Pretty much
I'm,
killed it for everybody.
it killed it for everybody. So I wrestled one match, and I wrestled a couple times between that, but I wrestled one match, and it was probably the second match without a finger that I did, and it was Jay Webb's father passed away, so we did a benefit for him, and it was the week or the weekend before the world shut down, and like I was like, well, at least we got to do this. I got to see my poop brother Pappy and all the remaining living Jumpsuit Mafia members. We all had a match, and it was a good time and a fond farewell to a lot of what we did is the Jumpsuit Mafia and all that shit. So
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't bring
that
that up
that
because I
bond.
wasn't sure how that, you know,
See, that's
translated
the
outside of like, because I know that wasn't like an actual like wrestling
it
thing,
it
like action or
it
nothing, but
it was in one promotion in Jonesboro, Arkansas, over just a little show that we did, and we made the Jumpsuit Mafia come alive, and we all wore jumpsuits and did the crazy gimmick, and it was
yeah,
you know just alternate versions of what we were doing, but that was just the Asylum, Psycho and Pappy, and then the LSD guys. It was just like this is this is our buddies. This is our group of motherfuckers. And like I said, spending 2 hours just talking shit with somebody that likes it, that was those guys.
yeah,
And then they had their buddies, the J Webbs and the Chops, and uh Sin and Stunner were involved in that, and then Josh got to be sort of an honorary LSD and Jumpsuit Mafia member, and just because he would go to Illinois with us. You absolutely are, Matt. You absolutely are. Come on, you're gonna get banned from Hoxie though, so just watch out. I'm just
uh,
kidding.
it's
Former
different,
interaction.
different management now. So,
It's a different day. It's a different day. Uh,
uh, yeah, I
I,
wasn't sure how far I could dive into something like that, because like I said, I wasn't
yeah,
sure how y'all were about that stuff. That's why I
I,
didn't bring up. I barely brought up the one thing.
yeah,
We'll still not discuss it though, but I still,
that's fine. I
if
think
you
I discussed it on another podcast somewhere, or maybe talking to y'all or something. I don't know. I think I've talked about it before though.
right,
But
right, that's definitely though if you want to scare a younger guy, if you want to scare a younger guy, you show him that video.
yeah,
I definitely when I first started, Josh showed me the video, and
is it still
I
out there? I haven't seen it in
certain
years.
I can't remember. I'd have to go looking for it, but I could find it. But
Oh, gotcha.
So, like, when I first started, I wanted to do this, this crazy gimmick like I do and whatnot like that. So, but what I did because of that video is I contacted Psycho myself and
Don
was
Mega.
like, "Hey, man, I'm just starting out. Josh Cross is my trainer. I want to do." I laid out how I wanted to do initially and all like that. And I was like, I don't want to step on no toes or get messed up. I was like, I want to make sure that I ain't going to cross no boundaries doing this. And he was like, man,
Yeah,
just this conversation right there makes it good to go. And that right
there you
there,
go.
that's the only conversation I've never ever had with that guy. I never met him personally. I never got to meet him. But
Yeah.
that right there meant the world to me, just being able to get started out and get a blessing from somebody I never even met before.
Have you met Pappy?
Yes, a couple of times. Just in when I was training,
Oh, gotcha.
Josh worked a few shows down in Mississippi that I think when Cody was booking down there at TWE.
Oh,
I,
gotcha. Pappy
I
was there.
traveled. Yeah, I traveled down there and I was working security.
Oh,
Pappy, Chop, J Webb, Cody, Motley Cruz, Marco Stunt was a manager. I remember
yeah.
saving him from a 12-year-old girl. Uh,
Oh, she was probably
but
bigger than he was. No offense, Marco.
pretty much, yeah. But
Yeah,
no, that was like one of my first experience. That was my first experience in being in outside of Arkansas. I remember I
sure.
had to help Pappy, J Webb, and Chop all beat the shit out of Cody, and I had to help carry him out. It was me and Paris, and
Yeah.
Cody's kind of helping it to go. We get about halfway, he's like, "Going limp." Shit.
Yep. It sounds like
Oh,
Cody.
but that was my
I've
first
seen him do
experience
it.
with a lot of those guys.
Oh, he was having fun. He thought you had some chance if he was going to play that joke on you. Otherwise, he would have just sort of walked out. Whatever. Yeah, you did fun.
Oh, but yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. And Cody actually brought that like a few years later. I got to work Cody at MACW, and he
Yeah.
actually brought that up. He remembered me being down there for that. And I was like, yeah, I did it. And the reason I say this, the reason I say that story and that he remembered it and stuff like that is because that's how Josh brought me in. That's how
Yeah.
he taught me and stuff like that, and that was some of the advice that I was given. So you being in it as long as you have and all like that, the younger guys coming up, this generation and whatnot, what advice would you give to them to be able to have a successful career?
Man, there's so many things you could talk about, but uh, find your fan base is the biggest thing. You said something about this earlier, but there are so many niches in this business we call professional wrestling. I mean, some people are lucha guys, some people are big towering monsters, some people are Will Blackwell and wrestling machines. Again, there's all these niches. I mean, European, Japan, uh, Israel, they all have their own style. South America has a dancing wrestling that's worse, or more dancing and stuff than lucha, but it's all fucking amazing if you find the right stuff at it. Just find the niche that actually works for you. Pick something that you can make work from the beginning. Keep it and build it. And I'm saying this as I gave up my identity of 20 years, but just a couple years ago. But find that identity, and find your crowd, find your fan base, and figure out something to entertain them every time you walk through that curtain, and make sure you and your opponent come home as are able to walk back out of the ring every time, uh, and just work. There's no doubt. There's no reason at this point in time that you can't be working all sorts of shows. I mean, Arkansas wrestling alone, as I mean, there used to be two or three promotions in the whole state, maybe four. Now I can think of 10 to 15 just off the top of my head. I
Yep.
mean, and you know, no offense to Hoxie at this point, but at one point they were looked down on as talent levels and the Bruces and of the world, and you to a point, a little point, but help bring them around and help elevate them to where they're seen in a different light than they were 10 years ago. And I mean, but there's so many people that have better talent than what we did in the 2010s or whatever. Um, my goodness, there was a lot of trash whenever I started, 99, 2000. I mean, that's like you say, you got two elbows in on me in your second match. Is I was taught that way by Jim Chitty to make sure see if you wanted it before we started giving you something.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that will be ingrained in my DNA till the day I stopped stepping in a wrestling ring. But oh, can you do this? Are you sure you want to do this? Okay, there's a blues riff and B. Watch me for the changes and try to keep up. Okay, good. That's all I'm gonna call on Matt. Have you got that match? I told you that's all I would call for you. Is a blues
Do
riff and
what
B.
now?
I've had matches with kids, and they would be the nervous kids that are panicking and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
But I'd be like, just listen, and I will pull out the old Back to the Future line. This is a blues riff in D. Watch me for the changes and try to keep up. And then that's all I will call. And we'll go have a match. And if you're lucky, it works out like yours where you got two elbows in. If not, I just lay the clubber in and go home quick. And but I don't know. It's the thing, but that's the old school mentality. And the people that can work, or the people that can try to work. But some people can't work and just want to do this just to say I did it. And
Yeah.
that's the ones that you have to. Especially back in my day, and I don't necessarily condone just beating the shit out of people anymore, but uh, that's the way you kept the wrestling business protected. And oh shit. All right. Well, there's my one. Deadly had one too. Here we go. Uh, but damn, it's not gonna stay now. But I'll just hold the damn.
Well,
But
we're getting close to the end here, so
there you go. But yeah, I mean, just and work. Go find as many people to. I only attempted to work. I did it, guy.
oh,
That kid right there. I'm gonna put him over for a second too. I saw a
okay.
promo. Him, and I think he was a Hoxie at the time. Maybe the U.S. champion, and he did a promo, and I was like, "Oh, this kid can talk." And I say kid, he's like 35 or something, but 30 something. Uh, but it was a 6.5 minute promo where he could have been a 1 or 2. So being me, if I have something I want to say to somebody or a question I want to ask somebody, even if I don't know them that well, I'll reach straight out to him on Messenger and was like, "Hey, that was a decent promo. Why was it 6 minutes long?" And he's like, "Holy crap!" Otto Baines talked to me. I was like, "Yeah, whatever. Shit, thanks. Why did you say this, and this over and over again when we can make it? We could have done here, and everybody would have been like, oh." And he gave me. He was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I get it, okay." And I heard his promos from then, and they've improved, and that's I don't know, that's what it's about for me now. But I want to help these people fucking do these little fucking things that I don't know I've overthought so many years. And I listen to Cody overthink in the seat next to me, or Deadly overthink in the seat next to me, or any of these guys I've talked about.
yeah,
You'll sit there and just listen to them, and they're like, "Man, if I would have done this and just this and stepped this way, and it would have been so much better." I don't know. It's just the shit that's the part of wrestling I really enjoy now, is watching these fucking kids just improve. And I call everybody kids now because I'm old. I'm fucking it's ridiculous, but I'm
you
only
call me a
43.
kid. You call me a kid. We're the same age, so I get it.
That's
I get it.
that's true. Well, I called Gun Show a kid the other day because I think I started like 3 weeks before him. But he's 47 or something.
Oh,
But I don't know. It's just what I call it. But I don't know. Especially at this point in the time, and I really am interested in building up everybody that we can around this business that's willing to fucking work for it. Again, I keep bringing up this dude's name, but Will Stevens, he's working his ass, or Will Cage, whatever, Will Blackwell, whatever the fuck his name is, he's working his ass off. Cody Downs is working his ass off, and you're working your ass off, and Bruce, you tagging with Bruce or being back together, and Bruce has relit a fire in his ass that I'm glad to see. Uh, Fucking Matt.
we we said that beer 30 plus Manai equals monsters. Uh,
There you go. I mean, and you're the crazy gimmick. He's the werewolf. I mean, it that makes absolute sense.
we
Uh, and
over the
and they
last
said too.
couple of months we've been had a bunch of people refer to us as the Arkansas Road Warriors.
I like it. I like it.
uh,
It not to steal on your shit. Cody and I got described one time, and I think it was a pretty accurate thing. It was like a cross of the fucking Legion of Doom and the Nasty Boys together. And I was like,
I do that
"That's
easily.
yeah, that works." Because I was Sags, unfortunately. So, but
Oh
no,
Lord.
it was good times, man. I lost where I was going on this shit. Fucking ADHD.
It happens. It happens.
We were
But
shooting, now
yeah,
we're giggling. So,
right, right.
but
I mean, that's the whole point of it is to have
yeah.
fun and get to,
Oh
and it's to for this. This is to put you over.
man, fuck
It's
me over.
no,
Let me put
you
some more
shut
people
your
over real
mouth, you
quick.
old fart.
Come on, let me talk about fucking Gaston and Matt and fucking who else can I talk about? How about Nick's and Bosby and MKZ and
Oh
oh my
man,
god. What about this fucking pirate kid up at Hoxie? Oh god, I love that kid.
Austin
Fucking old Austin, yes. What's his
O'Malley,
name?
he's a
Austin
good
O'Malley.
kid.
I love that kid.
I've over the last year, I've watched that boy grow so much, like confidence level, especially. That boy has
Yep.
grown a lot. Now, if we could just get him, like, I'm not saying he's got to leave hockey or nothing like that, but he does
No.
need to. He needs to get some
He,
more experience out and about. I think he would do some good things. You know,
there you go. Yeah.
I mean, who would have
There's
thought getting a pirate gimmick over in 2024? Come on
yeah.
now.
He did it. I saw some that eye patch thing got him over with me. I mean, just hell, you can do all sorts of stuff with an eye patch. It's ridiculous. And luckily, Kate they started as babyface, and Caden was his partner, and luckily he's as babyface as it comes. And with all that, I don't think he has a hair on his chin yet, poor kid. But I mean, I didn't either at his age, so I can't really talk shit. Uh, but
He
yeah,
ain't
he
either.
no, you've had that since birth, dude. What are you talking about?
Oh,
I don't know.
I could grow this at like 13, so
Golly,
it was just
I grew
darker back then.
I grew my first beard like 4 years ago. It's still terrible.
I only have this because I'm too lazy to shave. So
I don't blame you. It looks good too. So,
my
but
wife helps me
I,
take care of it. So
there you go. I'm gonna put her over too because she works really hard for a female worker around here. She takes it to a different level than a lot of them try to do. She doesn't want to do cat fights. She wants to have a wrestle
yeah.
match, and you got to put her over for that.
Well, I mean, she spent like her first couple years only wrestling dudes. So I mean, like she did
Uh,
that like nearly year long angle with Ray, and you're gonna learn
yeah,
how to fight there.
you're gonna learn how to fight with her. So,
Yeah,
but
that
yeah,
I'm
she
glad she's finally able to get back. Because she missed like a year because she was
yeah,
working Saturday nights. But
understand.
she's able to get back out. She's dealing with a little bit of an injury right now, but hopefully in the next month, we can get her back to going.
Hell yeah,
She
let's
had a
go.
little bit of she had a umbilical hernia. Uh, she
Oh
coughed
yeah,
she coughed it like she was coughing so hard it happened. Yeah.
Oh
Man,
goodness.
Tab is tougher than a lot of guys I've worked.
That's absolutely true. Absolutely
Yeah.
true.
And that's
So,
what, if things progress for me in certain aspects, we're hoping that that will open a door for progression for her as well. Is what where'd you go?
more women workers
Oh,
are definitely needed all around the area too. So,
yeah,
uh,
definitely. Her
that's
her and
true.
Nix have got to work a few times at
Oh,
APW.
yeah,
Man, if I can find it, I'll send you the links. They beat the shit out of each other.
that's awesome.
And right now, the series is 1-1, so they need
Oh
that
yeah.
rubber match.
Oh yeah.
Now that Nix has grown as a wrestler, and Tab has gotten back into the flow of things.
Yeah. 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 Hell yeah. That's Fred James. What's up, Fred? Bye,
He
Fred.
he said hi. He brought me a soda, and I didn't even ask. I'm so happy,
Man, that dude's nice as hell.
dude.
He
Yeah,
says hi to me and my kid 4 times a week or something.
that's Fred for you, man. He's probably one of the best people I've ever known in my life.
Fuck
Hell,
yeah.
he's lived with me longer than Tav has. So
Oh wow. Okay. Hell
yeah,
yeah. That's awesome.
he moved up. I've told the story before, but he moved up here from after Hurricane Katrina hit New Orleans,
Yeah.
and he lived in some apartments in front of where me and my now ex-wife were living.
Sure.
And his family, they were getting ready to tear those apartments down. His family was getting ready to move back to New Orleans. I
Oh
was
shit.
going through a divorce. I was like, "Look, you don't want to go down there. I need someone
Yeah.
to help me with bills. Let's go get a 2-bedroom place and just." And he's been with me ever since.
That's
Uh,
awesome.
so
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
he's a good dude. He's a good dude. But
I'm glad there was a Fred James appearance on this pod. Really popped the crowd.
right, right. The viewership went up for a second there. So
Hell yeah.
but
We know how to get those fucking ratings. Put Fred
right,
James up
right.
there.
Hey, if it wasn't for Fred James, SDU Networks would not exist. Because he's the one that brings in the people.
That's true. That's true. That's why I watch. I mean, at least comment in every time.
You watch the first 30 minutes, he'll actually talk, and then the next hour is just us making fun of him, trying to get him to
for,
talk. So,
for not talking. Yeah,
but
that's for sure.
anyway, well, I think we have covered everything I wanted to cover today.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Uh, we got everything. The people that watched got to learn a little bit more about you, a little bit more behind the
More
scenes
bad.
there. Yeah,
I
I
probably need
mean,
to. I probably need to work Matthew Wade before, or sorry, Wade Matthews before I hang him up too.
I can't
Uh,
ever remember which way his name goes. I just say, "Hey,
I can't either.
Wade." That
Yeah,
goes either way. So,
I just point in his direction, and say, "Hey, asshole." But I do that to everybody.
right. Hey, line got. He looks like got
you,
line mane going on there. Come
yeah.
here. But
So
well, man, Phil, I appreciate it. Right here, right here, right here.
please do. Somebody book it. Hell yeah, we need to get that to happen. I got a few more in. I can show you something maybe. I'll probably put you over too.
But,
But hell yeah.
well,
But man, yeah. Can I or go over these dates real quick before
yeah,
we
yeah,
turn
most
out of here?
definitely.
March 2nd, 100 Wrestling there in Wynne, Arkansas. March 9th, we're going to be at the main event Bradley Metroplex right there in beautiful downtown Tuckerman, Arkansas. The next day, Memphis Wrestling at the Wrestle Center. We'll be back at the Wrestle Center on the 24th, and then I think was it April something or other. But
April
March 10th
20th
and
or 21st, I think is what I
well, it's
think.
the 10th and 24th for March, but and then we have one in I think early or mid-April too. So, but yeah, just be looking. I'm around. I'm gonna take a few select bookings until I can't no more. So, uh, enjoy it while you can, because my old stiff ass won't be around forever. I don't guess. Poor bastard has to work me. So, but anyways, yeah, David, thank you for inviting me over here and to do this thing with you. It was a lot of
Most
fun.
definitely. Uh,
I enjoy having conversations with you regardless. Just putting us, we got this camera doohickey. There may be a live crowd besides Wade over there. And look at
There's a few people
But
still watching, so
oh yeah. Well, I mean, we chatted for almost 2 hours. That's a pretty good time. That's a
oh
long
yeah,
time. So,
that's about what
but
me and Dale went to. So it's about average now. So
hell yeah. Well, I mean, if that we again, I like talking to you, so we can just babble and shoot the shit for hours and hours if we need to. But some people you don't have that connection, and you can have a 45-minute. Clown's here.
yep.
Oh yeah, that dude. I want to put that dude over too. Golly, I love some clown.
Oh
That dude's amazing. He's good people too. Uh, I don't know where that guy came from, how he got around, but I'm glad he is.
yeah,
He
dude's a
makes
genius.
makes any
Dude's a
wrestling show
genius.
he's at DJing better. I
Yes,
promise.
very much so. I've tried to put him over multiple times, just
I have
because.
to.
Yeah, that
He don't
dude's a
accept it
genius.
either. So, but
Well, we are going to go ahead and cut this loose. Everybody that stuck with us for the hour and 40 minutes, we do appreciate you.
yes,
Um,
sir.
just be proud that you have all 10 fingers. Have a
That's
good
right.
night.